Well, during the Fox Business debate in Milwaukee, I had a chance to sit down with three presidential candidates, Chris Christie, Marco Rubio, and Ben Carson. And Ben Carson's handling of my questions was very interesting. It prompted this email from Robert C. Robert writes, I just saw your Mediabuzz interview with Ben Carson. It was a real pleasure to observe a respectful interview and hearing the meaningful responses from an intelligent man. I am more and more impressed by Dr. Ben Carson, who shows on every occasion that he has the intellect, humility, and demeanor that we should hope for in every presidential candidate. Obviously a Carson fan writing in, but I must say that, the bulk of the interview was about the attacks from Donald Trump and the attacks from the media on Dr. Carson's life story. The book that he has written, the way he's talked about how he was an angry teenager and sometimes a violent teenager. And as you know, Politico and the Wall Street Journal and CNN all took on, challenged, tried to poke holes in Carson's life story. And I asked him, for example, do you think that these three news organizations and others are deliberately trying to damage you? And he said, yes, I don't agree with that. I think the stories were underreported, overhyped in the case of Politico's inflammatory headline. But Dr. Carson believes that the media are really trying to take him down because he said he is a conservative, and what's more, he is a black conservative. But in the way in which he dealt with my questions, and I didn't see this in Carson 6 months ago, I think he's growing as a candidate. He did it with humor. He did it by deflecting. He would not respond in kind to Donald Trump, who said he has a pathological disease. He talked about the difference between that and a pathological temper, which he says he had as a young man and which he says he has overcome. And so one of the things that you learn as a candidate is either you take the bait, the media's debate, the bait set out there by your rivals to get you into an exchange that you don't want to be into, to get you into a street fight, which Carson obviously is not going to win against Donald Trump, who is a great street fighter. And you play your own game. And in that Milwaukee exchange, I pressed Carson a couple of times, and he answered the questions the way he wanted to answer the questions, with a rather restrained tone. And that, I think, is a mark that he has learned to a growing extent how to play the game of presidential politics.